Who wants to start it? All right, I'll start it this time.
I did it last time.
Yeah, you did. Could let him do it.
What am I saying?
Hello and welcome to the 10-7 Podcast. This is...
Oh, damn, you're almost there.
All right, I'll do it. I'll let you learn a little bit longer. John is just now getting okay with the fact that sometimes
it's still weird.
Hello and welcome to 10-7 Podcast, and I introduce myself and you guys.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to 10-7 Podcast. This is Clyde. We're with John and Drew.
No.
What the fuck was wrong with that?
No, I'm just kidding.
God. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Andrew, EMTP, and I stink.
Yeah, you...
He does.
I can't smell him from here.
Actually, I smell bad.
I mean, the deodorant helps.
I bought a new car. Well, I didn't buy a new car, and I didn't buy a new car. I bought a new to me car.
You bartered for it.
Yes. I found an 88 Thunderbird, which is the closest amalgamation of my first car, which was an 88 Thunderbird.
Are you
that I
gonna
could
paint
find.
it?
No.
Nah,
Well, I'm going to paint it eventually, but
it's
for
not
now,
on your to-do list right now.
Yeah. Now it's just, I got a few things to do.
Right.
But that whole off-work thing, too, just means that I just don't have the money to do it, so.
Yeah. You're
But
just doing, like, free things you can do, like cleaning shit.
Basically, I'm just trying to get it to the point where I can drive it and save some gas, because my truck sucks gas down like a whore.
It's funny whenever you
bad.
consider, like, a classic sports car to be a saver of gas.
It was, well, I mean, it's a turbo coupe. It's a 4-cylinder turbocharged motor that gets 32 miles to a gallon and it has a top speed of 145. So I'm like...
And people don't understand, like, 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders can be pretty badass.
Damn
You did it.
I am sorry. I'm sorry.
I've gotten good at editing, but you guys are killing me.
Yeah,
We're testing you.
Yeah, it's crazy that, like, I drove it back. It was probably a good 35 mile drive from where I dropped my old motorcycle off and picked the car up, and I filled the car up once and it's still overfull.
Oh shit.
So, I mean,
nice.
Yeah, the gas saving is pretty ridiculous.
Either that or the gas gauge is busted.
Oh,
Or
no.
that. It could be
No,
that.
because it was fucking empty when I picked it up, and I was like, am I going to make it to a gas station? I don't know. So
You're probably going to have to change your fuel filter at some point.
it's been changed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, when you leave cars without gas in them, it can, like, rust can happen there. And then when you drive it again, it can, like, blow it all out and fucking clog it.
Well,
shit.
and that's the thing.
That is a bitch to change.
It actually has a brand new fuel pump in it, too.
Nice.
The guy that had it before me, it wouldn't run when he picked it up, so he put a new fuel pump.
I think I helped you change a fuel pump once.
You've helped me do a lot of things, and we got into shenanigans while doing this.
I just remember at one point we were pulling the fuel line.
Yeah.
And, like, we had forgotten to, like, make sure there was no fuel in it for some reason.
It was still
Like
under
running.
pressure.
Yeah, it was under pressure. And we pulled it up, and it was like, and on our mouths and our eyes. Like, it was the worst. Never I want gas in my eyeballs again.
I remember that. Okay, so, by the way, welcome back, Clyde. I'm glad you're here.
Hey.
Good to see you. So, you, I wish I would have known you when John and I were hanging out, because I think you would have added to shenanigans as much as we added to.
Oh,
all
you would
the
have enjoyed our
shenanigans.
bullshit.
No, believe me, I don't know if you guys would like me. How
Were
long
you a
guys known each
cockbag?
other? No, I just had a really, really bad time keeping my mouth shut in situations.
Well,
that I
you should do that
should.
more now because you
What?
don't
No.
talk.
No, it's not the same. Believe me. Believe me. Okay, I went to a buddy's Halloween party years ago. All right, this is probably almost 10 years ago now.
Right.
And I didn't have my license 10 years ago. I was 15, you know. So a friend of mine who was older than me gave me a ride home. Well, on the way home, I decided I'm going to start yelling at the rednecks in the truck next to us on the highway.
Done that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have got along great.
Well,
We would have got along great.
It did not go well.
Remember when that used to be like a pastime we would do? We'd go to the college town and hit the bars and like drive by and scream terrible things at people.
We would do horrible things, especially when we'd see like a group of 3 guys walking behind a girl that's like 10 yards in front of them. We'd be like, they're gonna rape you, and just drive away.
We're like, hey, put away the chloroform.
And even better than that, remember when we almost got in a fight because this drunk dude with his girlfriend was sober-ish. The dude was fall down drunk because he fell down twice trying to like get to the crosswalk. And we just roll the windows down and go, and he's like, fuck you guys, blah, blah. And his girlfriend's like, I am so sorry.
I apologize for his dumb shitness.
It was hilarious. I like that.
He's gonna be single by sunrise.
Well, I mean, he's gonna be with his puke, but other than that, he's gonna be single human.
Nothing like waking up with Mr. Puke.
Me shit talking now might come off as funny.
Okay. Yeah.
I am morbidly obese, as scrawny as I am, compared to how it was at 15.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Fucking
like 115
beanpole.
pounds, like, had no business talking shit, because I could get tied into a pretzel.
That's the time when you want to talk
Fuck
shit.
yeah, we even heal faster.
You want to see
I
something
don't
cool?
bounce swell anymore, man.
Relocate a bone.
Yeah, we're good.
Back.
That was
What
weird.
was that?
I don't know.
I think it was a Darwin.
Yeah.
Darwin almost unplugged all of us. Darwin's his cat, by the way.
Darwin's a dick.
Yeah, he's not a cat.
Even
He's a
for
monster.
not, like, he doesn't do anything, but he's still a dick.
Yeah,
Not a cat guy. Yeah.
I like cats.
Don't look at me, Darwin. Fuck
He's
you.
He's
He's
straight eyeing
he's mean
you right
mugging
now.
you. He's mean mugging you.
He's looking at me like you didn't bring that shithead with you, did you?
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Oh,
is.
yeah. Clyde brought his son over. And his son stepped on Darwin, and Darwin hates him now.
And probably all children. That's how they roll, man.
I have a
They're like,
2-year-old with really
you know
big
one,
feet.
you know them all.
And he was wearing fucking boots at the time. Like,
Dude,
come
those are
on,
the only
man.
shoes he owns that fit him now. He has grown out of every pair of shoes he bought him in the last 3 months.
How old is he now?
2.5.
Dose. He's in that terrible too.
Did you ever have a blowout when he was an infant?
Yeah. There was actually one
You're
day.
laughing about it because it's been like over a year or two.
I'm waiting for John
this
to
one
get his
was-
first blowout.
This one was
We've
bad,
had a
and I
couple
really hope
escapees.
you don't have to deal with this one. He was starting to get old enough, so he would
That he could drink?
kind of understand what
Yes.
I was saying to him.
Right.
And so if I was like, "Hey, you and Dad are going bye-bye," like he would like start smiling and
Kicking his
giggling
legs,
and
like,
he'd be like,
"Yeah."
"Yeah, let's go, man, tear this shit up." Like, all right, yeah. I'm like,
Going to
we're
the
gonna go
strip club.
bye-bye, and we're gonna buy Mommy a present. And my wife's like, "What? What are you gonna buy? Don't worry about it. We're gonna come back with a surprise." Okay, whatever. So we go to the store, and I get out. I hop in the back seat and I look at him. I'm like, this isn't right. I'd forgotten his diaper bag at home.
Oh no! You're like, it'll be fine.
No, and he had shit because I could smell it. It was bad, and I was like, "Oh man!" I'm only like 9 blocks from my house. I'm like, "All right, I can make it." So I call my wife and I'm like, "Hey, I'm running back to the house. We don't have it for you yet, but Jensen
some
shit his
supplies."
pants. Can you get a diaper and some wipes ready?"
That's your present.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And she's like, "All right, yeah, that's fine, whatever." I pull up to the house and I'm still on the phone with her, and I start laughing my ass off. She's like, "What are you laughing about?" I'm like, "He got into his diaper."
Oh,
She's like,
God.
"What do you mean he got into his diaper?" He had gotten into his
digging
diaper.
around in there.
He was digging into it. He had it on his arms and legs. He had it on his face. He was
Jesus.
wiping it on the window. Dude, he put his
that's a
hand in
trip
his
in
mouth. I was like, no, too far. No.
Oh,
Does it taste like it did when it went down, buddy?
Oh, it was so bad. I finally get him out, and it's just all over the scene. I'm like, how can a child that doesn't even weigh 15 pounds yet produce this much shit?
Yeah. Hey, this goes back to we start out in diapers and we end in diapers.
Yeah.
Because I have been to nursing homes on calls where these old fuckers, and I'm gonna call them fuckers because the only other thing I can call them is finger painters.
None of them are listening.
They literally paint with shit on the walls, and like I would go to pick them up, and I'm like, I don't want to touch you.
Yeah.
I actually learned to take a sheet and basically like
making a lap band out of it
them.
or whatever. What do you call that?
That's how you do with babies.
Oh, it's so bad, man.
Swaddle
Good
them.
tip.
I think that's the word.
I
swaddle them.
I cannot wait because I'm a medical professional. I cannot wait until I am that.
I'm a sympathy barfer.
I'm that old guy that goes to a nursing home and just fakes Alzheimer's or something, and I will get away with anything.
They're gonna put you in geriatric psych, bro.
That's fine. It's okay.
Oh, that has got to be like the most hellish landscape. Imagine, like, it's not just geriatric; it's geriatric psych.
You know how
so it's only the people that are like that.
You know how monkeys throw poop? Mm-hmm. There are old people that do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
My sister works geriatric psych at a DMH here, and she's always talking about how like they're just babies. They revert to babies, basically.
Yeah.
Like toddlers, not babies, because babies are easy compared to toddlers. We had a friend come over the other day, and we were like, I mean, if you would have asked us before they showed up whether my house was like toddler proof, I'd have probably been like, yeah, everything's up high, everything's, it's fine. Dude, that kid, like, I love him to death. He's an awesome kid, but he
was throwing pocket knives.
Yeah, like
I didn't even know I owned them.
I was so unprepared for him.
I didn't even know I owned swords.
Yeah, I was not ready, man. I had to like at like 2 or 3 different points, I had to like panic hide things, and then
call
like
him on the phone.
He
has
found
Axe
like
body spray and a lighter.
Yeah.
I have funny stories about Axe body spray and a lighter.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
what was that called? There was a name for it.
I just called it the fireman.
Yeah, maybe.
Because pubes were burnt in dorms. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure that story was told. You burnt the head of your dick.
Yeah. This is what I'm going to say about like the children aspect of it. I don't have children. I don't particularly expect, nor do I ever think that I really want children.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just who I am.
I mean, I get it. I got one child, and I don't think I want a second. Not because I hate her, but I just don't want to do it again.
Honestly, I think most parents will agree with this. I love my son. Mm-hmm. I hate most other children.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like,
I love other
I like friends'
people.
kids. I get along with them great. But, like,
Don't
rando kids.
don't leave them with
I
me.
just want to be the fun uncle,
Yeah.
I want to be the dude that...
That's how I feel like
that
with other kids.
Children,
That's exactly right.
Like my friends' kids come over and, either they learn something or I get them sugared up enough that I can give them back to their parents and cause hell.
Yeah.
But...
As long as you're not the touchy uncle, you're good.
Right.
Uncle Touchy.
I'm not a priest. Fuck you.
Sons of Anarchy. That was one of the characters' names. It was
Uncle Touchy?
Yeah, that was his nickname. They were like, go tell Uncle Touchy bye. I hate it when you call me that. I know.
But when I was a kid, I vividly remember that there was no such thing as fucking childproofing anything.
No,
if it was fucking heavy and you pulled it on you, you learned not to fucking do that again.
Well, to be fair, like I only had the those old cabinet TVs that they were their own entertainment center.
Yes,
we had one of those. You couldn't pull that thing on you if you tried. Right. I mean,
and if you did,
you must have really deserved it. I mean, I remember once
you had to try. Hard.
My dad was going to town because we lived out in the middle of nowhere, and I always wanted to go to town because it was like escape, So I was like stoked about it, and I was like, "Dad, I want to go." And he's like, "No, I'm just running in." Yeah. He's like, "I'm just getting groceries. It's not a big deal. Just stay home with your mom or whatever." So I was like pissed, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna sneak out. Because he drove this old F-150, this old reliable badass."
Trying to climb into the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
told the story.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. So for your consideration,
No, I have not
I'll make it
heard
short.
this.
I jumped onto the back of the truck as he's driving away, and I intended to jump over the bed of the bed
tailgate?
the tailgate.
Because
and
child
the tailgate
logic, I've
hits
seen
a
this
log.
in a cartoon, so
Yeah.
I can do this
It
in
like
life.
bonks a certain way on the road, and it fucking comes down. And my dad ends up driving me like like an old Western cowboy for like fucking 12 blocks at least before he finally hears me screaming.
And
He did let me go to town. He didn't want to go back.
we talked about this last episode. I am surprised we're still alive.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Well, I vividly remember growing up in an old farmhouse with steep stairs
And sharp everything in the
and
garage.
sharp everything everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, for the love of God, we had cows at some point when I was.
Cows will kick the shit out of you, man. They're mean.
Yeah, but
You
all
piss
right.
off a cow,
So-
you will know it.
I hate. All right. A short aside from what I was actually going to say is, I think baby proofing stuff or like toddler proofing stuff kind of fucks with creativity these days.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want him to break all my stuff.
True. Say, it depends on
more
what
my
level
version.
you get to, because I mean, like when you're starting to like nerf your fucking doorways,
Yeah.
that's an issue.
Like
Yeah.
we do
But,
have
like-
this big ass entertainment center that's like it stands right about here, right about face height. So we got these in our baby shower. We got these like baby proofing things, and I put these little rubber corners on them, so he doesn't literally go boom.
Fuck that, fuck that, dude. Because I have scars on my forehead from that as a child.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's what I learned not to do.
avoid.
Didn't fucking do that.
Those work until the kid realizes that they're not supposed to be there.
Right, right.
They are not on there very
And they're
strong.
just-
My
yeah.
son has ripped them off.
Yeah, Jax ripped it off in like a second. The little turd. He just like, and I was like, well, that's not gonna work.
See, I don't trust a lot of furniture that's made nowadays, just because how mass produced it is, and they use
Oh,
press
yeah.
board instead of real wood.
I used to
stuff
move
like
that
Yeah.
furniture, and
Well-
I can tell you it's not well made. Yeah,
Exactly. So
absolutely.
I went ahead and I got a dresser for my son that was similar to that. First thing I fucking did, I got wall anchors.
Hell yeah.
Because I could see him pulling on that thing, and then the front like snapping and the whole thing
Crunch.
falling on him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Did you know
like,
that
I'm like,
more
yeah,
people
not
die
happening.
every year from
vending machines.
getting vending machines dropped on them than like anything else? It's like one of the most common forms
How
of death in
fucked
America.
up as a person do you have to be that you're just like, oh, I'm gonna pull on this vending machine, blah blah blah.
That's
Hey
how you
man,
get free
if
snacks,
it
bro.
if it doesn't give you your bag of chips, it is fair game.
I mean, that's exactly what I do if I don't get a bag of chips that I got.
I'm going back to like zombie movies where I'm like, if you pull it over, then move the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, yeah. I generally do pull on it with like a general mental plan of my dodging. You know?
I mean, geometry is pretty simple
Just
in that situation.
phrase running right there.
There is a
I
single
plan to pull
fulcrum
on it
If
with
it's-
general location, general idea of dodging.
If it's 7 foot tall and you're pulling on it with a single fulcrum that's going to come
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
it's going to land 7 foot away.
And it's real heavy.
Yeah, because funny story. I
I had a fridge almost
I
fall
was
on me like that
3
once. It was
years.
scary.
I was 3 years old, and I learned to ride a 2-wheel bike because I had training wheels on my bicycle.
Right.
My dad came home from work one day, and I had completely disassembled my bicycle. I had taken the wheels off, the handlebars, everything was off of it, and then
I knew that chain, man. If you take that chain off, it's a real bitch to get back on.
I took the training wheels off, and Dad came home, and my bicycle is sitting in the garage with me surrounded by his tools, taking this thing
upside
apart.
down with the seat and the handlebars.
Yeah,
Yep.
at three years old, and my dad came home and goes, "What you doing?" I'm like, I just wanted to figure out how it worked. And he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do now? Will you help me put it back together?" So he's helping me put it back together, and when it came time to put the back wheel on, he went to go put the training wheels on. I'm like, I don't need them.
Yeah,
And
there
I
you go.
never used training wheels after that.
Hell yeah, man.
So that's why I'm like, baby proofing shit is
it can like
dumbing down creativity.
yeah, it can like hinder their growth.
Yeah.
Like, well, and you could say the same thing for like any generally over mothering or fathering, like you know, if you're hovering them,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you're
Just gonna
just
say that.
stopping them from learning.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
My wife had to like just recently deal with this. Like Amberlyn can hold her head up now, and so like when you pick her up, I can just I can grab her under the arms and just pick her up.
Yeah.
And her head does like a little like.
It's not as jello as it used to be.
She's like a drunk old guy. Like, she's got it, but it never falls. But it does wobble from point to she's like a bobblehead. So like because of that wobble, Caitlin still like wants to hold her head, and I'm like, we had this conversation. We're like, yeah, like I get it. But you got to fight that because every wobble is her muscles getting stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, and she was like, "You're right. I'm just a wuss."
What me and my wife had to do was keep your hand back there, so that way it's close
just
enough,
ready to catch it.
It's close enough where if her head does fall, it doesn't cause harm to her.
Yeah, you're ready, but you're
then
not
it's
hindering.
like boom. All right, cool, got you. Let's reset that. Good to go. All right, keep your head up, man.
That's the way to go. That's actually probably what she does now, because she's still like.
Yeah, I would rest my palm, my wrist right here on the base of their neck, like the nape of my son's neck, and that way, if I saw his head start tilting one way a little too far, where he was because my kid's got a big ass head,
right?
If it gets too far, once he goes past that certain degree, I'm like, there's no coming back. Let's get that back.
He's
up
top
here.
heavy. I gotta help him stay up.
Dude, I could take my hat off my head and put it on his, and only have to like move it one section over.
I mean, it is impressive when you think
God,
about
dude.
how quick they go from no control to full control. And baby heads are always huge. Even a small baby head is huge compared to a human head.
My wife hates the story. I'm gonna tell it anyway. I watched her give birth, just like I think any man.
Oh,
should.
I did.
If you are with
I was
somebody
holding
and
her
you're not-
legs.
and you-
Did you do that thing?
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah. If you are with someone and you get them pregnant, you watch that baby come out.
Yeah.
That is what you're supposed to
Don't
do.
do that old
Then
school
what the
thing.
fuck
where you-
is my
where you
excuse?
Sit out there with a cigarette.
I've
and the
delivered
freaking-
3.
Yeah.
You're in that
Fuck
job.
that.
Dude, you're getting paid to do it, dude. We're not. We're just
I am
there.
not paid for that. I'm paid to save your life.
Yeah.
Not fucking.
That's not your happy place. You're
No.
seeing explode.
But anyway.
the no-no zone. It's the no-no zone.
I see the top of his head. I think it's the top of his head.
Right.
And I mean, this thing is no bigger than like a baby doll's.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's his hair. His head's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out. And
It's
Doc's
really
like,
his dick.
give one more solid push, and then he'll be out. I'm like, yeah, babe, he's almost out. He's almost out.
you can
now.
do this.
She's only like fucking. It's only like
Yeah,
that
it's the
fucking
tip
that big
of the
around.
iceberg.
It's only like 2 inches around at this point. And now I'm not saying it's only 2 inch round, but like I thought that's how big babies were. I'm a dude.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Their
And
shoulders
then-
past that, man.
And then I know.
Yeah.
And then his head just pops out, like explodes out. And I was like, oh, fuck. And she was like, what? What happened? I was like, his head is huge. I know.
She's like, you think?
Of fucking course it is.
I'm like, yeah, I had nothing. I was just like, yep, nope, got nothing
You're
after
right.
this. Like,
Did you
you're
do
in
the
a
thing
worse
that I
position
did?
than I am.
Did you constantly, like, while your wife was doing like hard labor, like especially before it got like go time labor, when she's just pushing and nothing is happening? Like I kept being like, "Hey, are you okay?"
No, I'm actually going to sound like a complete piece of shit for saying this. I took about a 3-hour nap.
My man.
Oh my god,
Now,
ballsy.
okay, now to defend myself before we get any angry comments.
Yeah. You better.
I got off work at like 11 o'clock at night.
Uh-huh.
I got home, played on my phone, fell asleep about 2 in the morning. And we were going to get up and go to her doctor's appointment for the baby
Right.
at 10:30 next morning. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to have a solid, 6-7 hours of sleep. That's more than I usually get. I'm good to go.
Hell yeah. And you're gonna
I
need
wake
it.
up to my wife going, Clyde, we need to go. Oh, shit. We got to go to the doctor's appointment. That didn't feel like 7 hours.
Right.
And she's like, no, Clyde, we need to go now. Oh, shit. We're late. Clyde, my water broke. I am out of bed
Yeah.
with my pants on before I'm even fully awake. My
You
eyes aren't
somehow
even
like
open yet.
summoned them across the room using
Yeah,
the
like,
force.
I've got my pants on. I've got my
Yeah.
glasses on. I was in the car before my wife. It was like a sitcom.
You're like, wait, I forgot something. Her, let's go.
No, like, she's the one locking the fucking door. She's like, really? Are you serious right now? I'm like, dude, I'm freaking out right now. I don't know what
Right?
to do. We didn't have a game plan. I thought we still had like another 3 weeks to go.
Oh, he came early?
Oh, yeah.
That's brutal.
And
Because, 3 weeks before we had our baby, I was not ready either. I get it.
we got to the hospital at like 4:30 in the morning. So I'd only been asleep for 2 hours, and we're sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there, and I was doing that. I'm like, hey, how you feeling? Like, you need me to get you anything? You ice chips? You know, you want
good old head nod.
Like, I'm trying to help you out here. Like, I'm trying to stay away. She's like, Clyde, take a goddamn nap.
Yeah, because you're
like,
gonna need it,
I'm
bro.
like, what? And she's like, you're gonna need it, and you're starting to piss me off. Go to sleep. I'm like, gotcha, babe. Anything for you. I love you.
I am going to I'm going to say this. I am happy that all of the deliveries that I've been a part of are people that I don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put
it
that out there.
does not matter how sweet and mousy and quiet that woman is. When they go into birth,
Oh yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
They turn into the biggest
That amount of
raging
pain
biker
does
chick
things
I've
to people. Yeah, Caitlin was brutal, dude. Like, she got real mean right before they finally gave her the medicine, and she was like, "Oh, we're cool."
Yeah, I'm just happy that in 2 instances of deliveries that I've had, I just took the baby and called a different unit to take the mom because I was like, I ain't fucking with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of bring it back. So, I have a story, or I have stories, I should say. I wandered to the town of where I used to work to go to the DMV today.
Why'd you go to that town's DMV?
Because it's smaller and normally it's not busy. I was fucking wrong today.
Yeah.
Because the DMV in the town that's a little bit closer than where I used to work is normally fucking packed.
Oh,
And
you know why it is, I bet?
Yesterday was voting day.
Yep.
So they were
So
closed.
they couldn't do anything.
Did you guys vote?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you? John?
And none of the people I voted for won.
I didn't even look. I didn't even check. I was just like, I'm going to vote for these people. We'll see.
Yeah.
But,
Pritzker.
all right.
Yeah, I know.
What a sleazeball. He looks like a fucking used car salesman.
Is he the one that, like...
He's the fat fuck that took all of his
bathrooms.
he took all the toilets out of his bathrooms in his mansion in Chicago to make it quote unquote unlivable, so he didn't have to pay taxes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. So Illinois sucks, guys. Just letting
Illinois
you guys know.
always sucked, man.
Yeah. But I went to the DMV, and
better than Blagojevich. But then again, so is everyone.
Well, Illinois, where your governors make your license plates. We're trying to avoid politics, guys.
This is true.
All right, sorry. Let's get back to your,
I'm so glad you guys are all here, but nope. Little
politics. Vetoing it?
Very little politics.
You vetoing it? All right.
Every time he and I are together, that's all we talk about the entire
show. That's why
we
need to stop. Just stop that.
Good point. Veto.
Fucking politics.
No, it's the worst.
Okay. I am a fairly even-keeled, pretty straightforward person. But road rage is where my Achilles heel is.
That's often the way it goes. People
I
that are generally
fucking
calm
hate drivers.
have the worst road rage.
The DMV is road rage in person.
Yeah.
I hated going there.
No,
like
it's the
I
worst.
said, it's the town I used to work in. Normally they're fairly empty.
Yeah,
and you just walk in.
People leave that town to do things. They don't go into town to do things.
You go to that town, you walk into the DMV there, you do your business, and you leave.
Sounds
We were
fantastic.
at about 26 people that I was behind, and I was like, I am not fucking around with the bigger town. I'm already here. I'm just going to wait.
And yeah, chances are Decatur's would have been way worse. So.
What was that movie that had sloths as the DMV employees?
Zootopia.
Yes, Zootopia. That was
best casting of all time.
That was fucking this place.
Yeah.
Because either they didn't care or they were so old working in there that it literally took them 10 minutes to walk from the door
And didn't care.
back to
Also didn't care.
But the other thing is it seemed like everybody over the age of 70's driver's license had expired the day before because it was either this was the mix of people.
And everybody was
either
taking that test.
everybody over the age of 70 was trying to do the tests and fill out the paperwork and do all that.
Right.
Or it was people 16 years old who didn't have the right paperwork.
Oh, God.
Trying to get their license with their parents.
Oh, and it's so quiet in there, you can hear everything, and you're just like raging harder inside.
There was a guy.
Yes.
There was a guy that was getting his replacement license, and it's like I said, it's probably the size of my office plus the bathroom.
Okay,
As far
pretty
as
small DMV.
It's not big, as far as like the area where all the people are. There was a guy that walked up to get his driver's license, and he was asking the most stupid fucking questions about his temporary driver's license. He's like,
oh, God.
So do I need to take this off, or what should I keep with me? He was trying to make jokes with the lady about, well, this one doesn't expire until blah, blah, blah. And can I just use that? And she's just like, well, no, you can't do that because if the police see that, then, blah, blah, blah. And he is fucking taking for fucking ever. And I'm literally 3 people behind this guy, and I'm just like, don't!
You're like, it's starting to feel like you're taking forever on purpose.
And then here's the other thing. The over
Just
70
slip
crowd.
the pill in her drink and walk away.
The over 70 crowd all had canes.
Oh, of
so
course.
it took them, even though it's not a big place,
They were
it took
shufflers.
them forever. And I'm like, how the fuck do you still drive?
That's an excellent question.
Take
actually.
a bus.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the biggest problems I have with daytime driving. I'm sorry, when I'm on the road and I'm going 40, 45 mile an hour, because some of the bigger roads indicate
Yeah.
kind of fast. The last thing I want to see are foreheads and knuckles. Like, that is the last
That's
thing
all
I
you
wanna,
can see just out of the windshield. You just-
the last thing I want to see coming down toward me. I'm like, if they sneeze, they're coming into my lane.
Yeah.
Like-
No, you're dead. They all drive like Buick Sentries from 1984 and they're made of pure iron.
I think a 99 Lumina. They hit me with one of those, I'm dead. They're not
Yeah,
gonna
dude.
feel it.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I've always kind of wanted to be in a wreck in one of those old boats.
This
Like,
is
you
what's-
could just survive anything in those things.
What
man.
you were talking about, how much it sucked,
Yeah.
reminded me. Do you guys ever watch the old show Reaper?
Oh, I used to. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that
No.
show. It was a story about a guy who evidently had his soul sold to the devil before he was even born, because his parents couldn't have a kid, so they made a deal with the devil where, hey, we'll give you his soul. I don't know, it was like his 21st
Right.
birthday or 18th birthday or something like that. If we can get pregnant. Okay, cool. Well,
Pretty fucked up thing to do. You're kidding.
and so he had this great life growing up, and then on like his 18th or 21st birthday, whatever it was, he finds out the devil shows up, and he's like, yeah, you work for me now. And he's like, okay, whatever. Well, it takes him a second to realize he's serious. And he's like, yeah, you're a bounty hunter. Every time a soul escapes from hell, you have to go find him. He's like, all right, where do I bring him when we're done? Well, the only portal to hell that makes sense. Where's that? Who's the fucking DMV?
You remember the waiting room in Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
That is how that felt
Yeah.
all fucking day. And like, okay, here's my thing.
The one Haitian guy with the shrinking people's heads.
Like I said, I'm a fairly even-keeled guy, but when I do things, I do them with a purpose.
Yeah.
And I like make sure that if I have a time frame set, I want to be on that time frame. That's that's my thing. This was painful.
Oh, yeah. It just
So
derails
painful.
your whole day.
Oh, it was awful.
Oh, it's the worst.
But it seemed like everybody over 70 had to do the fucking driving test too.
Yeah.
So it was even worse because they were like, all right, well, you guys can go out and start your car up and I'll be out there in a minute. So you have a 70-year-old shuffling out to their car. And then
somehow the DMV worker is slower.
exactly. And then at one point they were doing so many of these driving tests that there was literally one person behind the counter, and I'm like, why? Please, God,
Why have you forsaken
either
me?
strike me down now or make this line move.
Oh, man. If you died and went to hell from the DMV, you probably wouldn't even notice. You just still think you were there.
That is my hell.
Yeah,
If
no.
I die and go to hell, it is the DMV.
The never-ending DMV.
I read a lot of those creepypastas on the internet. I listen to them on YouTube and shit.
Yeah.
That was one that made me laugh. Was somebody did an adaptation to hell, and they're like, "What's worse?" They're like, "Everyone depicts hell as burning in flames or freezing. Like, what's worse than just waiting in line?" And like hell is just corridors of people waiting in line for fucking nothing.
I had that split second moment today where I just wanted to be like, fuck it, and lie down on the floor and take a nap.
I'm done.
I'm already dirty and greasy trying to get this car working right. So I'm just going to lie on the floor. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm the asshole.
The town I used to work in is not large. It's probably 2,000, 2,500 people.
It's
maybe.
a village.
Yeah.
It's a village.
I saw this when I was working there, but I didn't know the extent of it. Okay, there is a taxi service in this town.
Why?
Okay. It's maybe 3,500 people. It's not huge.
You can't exactly walk across it.
It's big enough for a Walmart, and a DMV of its own.
Not big enough for 2 Walmarts.
There is a pickup truck with a taxi sign on the top, and
Really?
on the bed they have bed stakes with a wooden homemade sign that says taxi service with a phone number on it.
Wow. Okay.
But even worse than that one, and I've seen this one when I was working there, and I just was thinking, strange.
I need to move to some little podunk town and then just turn my car into a taxi. Like
It's
called
called
Uber.
or Lyft.
no, they need cell service out there.
Yeah.
But today I saw a beat up 99, probably 99 Chrysler 300.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of. It's missing a bumper, but it had a fucking livery license plate with a taxi sign on top.
Hell
and I'm
yeah.
like, who in the fuck in this town has multiple taxis made out of just
there
the
shouldn't be
worst?
competition.
It is the worst.
He just took his
Vehicles that
nicest
I've ever
That
seen.
right
car.
there, you literally saw the personification of a family feud.
Yeah.
They were cousins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got your 300. I got my pickup truck. We're gonna see who makes more money.
Thanksgiving will never be the same.
No.
Well, the meth helps.
It does. You tend to
guess.
forget when you're losing all your teeth.
It's a methy
One of my
situation.
buddies dressed up like the dude from Breaking Bad. Was it Eisenberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched the show. I watched a couple episodes of him, but it never really piqued my interest.
Right. That's kind of how I was. I watched the first couple episodes.
I was a huge fan of Sons of Anarchy, and I want to say it came out the same year, and they ran against each other for a while.
It did.
So that's one reason why I kind of stuck with Sons and didn't really watch that.
Yeah.
But he shaved his head,
Yeah.
grew out a goatee, and walked around on Halloween
Oh, shit.
with blue
Rock candy.
rock candy.
Fuck
Nice.
yes.
Yeah, it was
Way to do
blue
it.
rock candy, and I think like to make up like when you grab it and it crumbles. I think he also threw in fucking blue pop rocks.
Nice.
I was like,
Hell yeah.
I'm impressed. Like I am. I know exactly who you are.
It would have been better if he was just wearing underwear.
Right?
I'm just saying.
He kept trying to get me to cut my
always
hair
so
and
cold.
wear a big baggy white hoodie. I'm like, no.
No, sir.
It was one of those things. It's horrible to me that something so simple can ruin your entire fucking day.
Oh, no,
And
yeah.
your-
It's
your
always those
mood,
little things,
it
man.
fucked my mood over so hard.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can't even explain it to you.
I've been in like a haze all day, man. Like, so last night, since the time change, I think it's the time change that would cause this. But like, my daughter would just not go. She was just like, "Nope, Daddy, we're partying." She was like, "Put on something on that." Shots. Put on something on Netflix, Dad, and get comfortable because I'm gonna lay here and almost go to sleep for 3 hours. It was finally 2:00 in the morning. She finally just like fussed her way to sleep. So I was like, I'm not touching her for like at least an episode. Like, she's gonna lay there and stay asleep before I attempt to move the bomb. Like, it's like bomb disposal. I put on my hazmat suit or my whatever that's called, and I was like hurt locker in it. Like don't breathe. Like, she freaking, of course, immediately wakes up when I put her in there. Yeah, I literally was just like, shit. So yeah, I got like not very much sleep. I ended up sleeping in a lot today, so that helped. Thank fuck it was my wife's day off, dude. Otherwise, I'd have been screwed.
Man,
The
time change.
Get used to going on 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and it gets worse.
Yeah. Well, when I didn't have a baby, I was really good at that. For me or for her?
Both.
Come on.
They make
Plop.
geriatric Benadryl.
Yeah. They do indeed. Star Trek actually works really well for her. Not the old one, the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Something about like the music and the people talking. She just.
Before we get too much further into it, I've got to give a shout out to some friends of ours that decided to send us some Meeseeks patches.
Some swag.
Yeah, it's if you guys on Facebook haven't checked them out yet, check out Level 0. They have awesome EMS memes. Plus they kind of call out some bullshit that EMS companies do.
Yeah.
But they sent us a Meeseeks bong waker.
A bong waker? It wakes the bong?
I think I said
What is
that
that?
right.
What does that name
Wong.
mean?
Wong Baker. Yeah, that's it. Wow. All right.
It wakes the bong.
I don't know who's high in this room, but hands up.
Apparently, Drew has waked the bong.
Yeah, it's a Wong Baker pain scale with a Meeseeks face on it, and it's fucking awesome. They
It's
also
almost
sent
as
us,
good as moral patches. Moral.
So yeah, we'll have a picture on that on the Facebook and the Twitter too. So yeah. So shout out to Level 0.
Someday I want to make our own patches, and our patches are going to be, if at first you don't succeed, try
Waffle stomp.
again.
Waffle Stomp. Fuck
Yeah, hell yeah.
The return of the Waffle Stomp.
It's back, bitches. It's back and it's splattering everywhere.
Did I tell you? I think I told you the shirt idea I actually had for that. It's on the front, like when shit gets real. On the back, waffle stomp.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
And
It almost sounds like a bad 80s dance move. Yeah. Do the waffle stomp.
no, so we still have some large and extra large shirts of the podcast shirts. So go get a hold of us and we'll send them to you. Because honestly, we would like to make some more, but until I sell these, we ain't making no more.
Hell yeah.
So do that,
We
please.
man, I'm out. Hold on. I think we got a question. I'm trying to remember. I think I got it sent directly to me. I don't remember. I just remember thinking to myself, I need to look it up and see it.
So that's
Was it on
actually
your
a,
Facebook,
that's
or-
actually a random question I just thought of. Since you guys give your last names on here, do people ever just send you random friend requests?
No. I actually, well, maybe, because I turned down a few, like, I don't know who you are, but I always have.
Right.
Like,
See,
so I don't know if those are them or those are not. So
Well, I'm a fairly friendly guy, and most of my personal information is disconnected from my Facebook anyway. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. She said, so I'm catching up on your podcast, and Drew mentioned that he wanted to dumpster dive at Spirit Halloween. Bad news. I worked there, and if anything had to be thrown away, we had to pour fake blood on it and also throw any broken glass or light bulbs on top of it. It was bullshit because they didn't want anyone having merchandise without paying, even if it was being thrown away.
I have firefighter gloves.
That's
I'm
actually
not really worried
literally-
about glass.
I was like, LOL, that shit won't stop me.
That's awesome.
Little
Challenge
hepatitis never hurt
accepted.
nobody.
Who said that?
My niece?
Oh, well, and your niece is awesome because she actually is supporting us on the Patreon. And,
Hell yeah.
Jess Tames also is doing the Patreon thing.
And she's actually a part of a couple podcasts herself. She's doing the Creepy podcast. One that I can't remember. I'm going to get that and then say it.
Oh, your niece.
Yeah.
Okay, all
She's
right.
a badass, dude. Like, she's like nearly a professional voice actor at this point. She's kicking ass.
Do you guys know that Jess Tames?
I don't know her.
Okay. Well,
She bought a
there
shirt,
was,
though.
There was a while where we were getting a couple of questions.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, I haven't seen the actual.
Oh, we should run them by him. One of them, at least.
Which one?
Well,
The one that you would actually know
answered-
stuff about.
We we answered a question that she asked on the
yeah.
last podcast, and you answered it on one that
Blink
hasn't come out yet.
182
Yeah, and then the food thing.
food. Yep.
Yeah.
That one's still in the works.
That was a really long podcast.
Yeah, that's why it's
You're trying to,
taking
like,
so
Frankenstein
long.
it?
I'm still editing that.
Yeah, we
motherfucker.
recorded for like 2 hours, dude.
seemed like it.
Yeah.
You,
We
well,
completely lost track of time. We
yeah,
were just
it was bad.
because I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, my wife's gonna kill me. That's why I was gonna be home an hour ago.
We
Gonna
actually,
die.
a friend of ours, Corey, that John and I know, sent us a question, and I really want to answer this. The question is,
Corey.
he wants to get a
Feldman?
he wants to get a medic's opinion on what should be in a first aid kit, especially
Oh,
for
hell yeah.
in a vehicle and for someone who has no medical experience and little med background, like EMTB,
Coral.
MTI.
That's Coral. I only know him as Coral.
Coral. Hi,
Coral.
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 I'm glad you guys listen. I really appreciate it.
Him and his fiance are like some of our biggest supporters. Like his wife is always, or his soon-to-be wife is always talking about it.
Is
He's
this the
badass.
Corey that I know?
He's got a sick beard. He's got like a majestic
think
man
so.
beard. I just want to lick it. It probably tastes like all the soup.
So, all right, this is what I keep in my bag.
You actually have like a medical.
I have
Like-
multiple bags. Actually, I think we talked. It's
We skated across this one a little bit.
me and Ryan actually talked about this, that in some states that you as a medic are allowed to have, or you're allowed to have equipment that is to what your certification level is.
Oh,
so like
just to have it.
if I was a medic, I could have in my bag in my vehicle, I could have IV
Is that the case in this
supplies.
state?
No.
Oh, okay.
In fact, in this state, you're only allowed to have basically basic first aid stuff. I have some
Band-Aids, gauzes.
I have stuff that I'm
Antiseptics.
probably not supposed to have, but it's personal use, and if it's somewhere where I work,
It's just simple things: IVs, a kidney.
To keep his heroin. It's mostly to keep his heroin addict problem.
This is what I would say everyone should have in a basic first aid kit for a vehicle. I would have cling gauze or cling, which is basically.
Oh, I thought you said clean.
cling.
Well, you also want it to be clean,
right. Cling is a basic wrapping.
Oh, is that
outer
stuff
wrapping.
that's like stretchy and
Yeah,
when you stretch it out,
and
it sticks?
and it
I know
sticks
what
to
that is.
it sticks to itself, so
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it. But then you get differentiating pressures, so
Right.
if you need it tighter, you can make it tighter.
Right.
I would have cling, a couple of rolls of cling, because they don't really go bad.
Right.
I would have 6 or 8 4x4s, like 4x4 gauze pads, 4-inch by 4-inch
I was
gauze
like,
pads.
big old hunks of wood. That's weird. Not 2x4s.
I would also keep a couple of ABD pads, abdominal pads. They are
What's that?
They're pretty thick. They're probably like a quarter, maybe half an inch thick, but they're very absorbent.
Huh.
So if you get something that like penetrates somewhere, you put that over it so it absorbs, and then you wrap the cling around it. So
Is it
that
called
way,
abdominal because it's for like abdominal wounds that really
pretty
are
much,
gushing?
but it actually is an ABD. Like if you look it up on Amazon, you can find ABD pads. I would have a few of those in there.
And these are all things that you're allowed to have.
Yeah. This is just simple
Anybody's
bandaging.
allowed to have.
I also, honestly, I keep.
What about tourniquet shit?
That's what I was just gonna say. I keep tourniquets with me because anyone can use a tourniquet or learn to use a tourniquet.
Shit, you can just make a tourniquet if you've got the stuff.
I was actually just gonna say, for those that can't afford to buy a tourniquet, now tourniquets aren't exactly expensive.
Yeah.
But I know some people are living on such a strict budget,
yeah.
they cannot afford to buy anything.
Especially
awesome.
something they may never
Honestly,
need.
Go and what I ended up putting in mine while I was short on cash was bandana, number 2 pencil.
Yeah.
You can actually use that.
That's simple. What do you call it?
Your belt
MacGyvering.
and a piece of wood will do it. Yeah.
Like Eagle Scout. It's a simple like scout thing. I mean, you can.
Everybody's seen that on
fashion
TV.
into anything. You can fashion.
You can go to Dollar Tree and get a pack of number 2 pencils and a bandana for $2.
Hell yeah,
$2
you're done.
But honestly, you can go on Amazon and you can get a tourniquet, an actual legit tourniquet, because this is the thing that you have to realize too. Make sure that if you use a tourniquet, it's at least 2 inches wide. Otherwise, it will kill the tissue. So you have to make sure it's 2 inches wide. Actually, I have a tourniquet sitting up there, and I have a tourniquet on my body armor too. So basically, I keep tourniquets with me because
I'm
honestly,
wearing one right now.
Yeah. It's a cock ring.
Yeah, just do it for fun.
Man.
Yeah,
but
you don't want
that's
that shit bending.
Wondering why you had a boner.
Yeah, it's a perma boner.
There are so many things in this world that can kill you, but the worst is any kind of like vein injury,
bleed outs.
Yeah, so like if you get hit in your arteries, that's going to kill you quicker than anything because it has the pressure behind it. Every time your heart pumps, it's going to squirt blood out, and then you're going to bleed the fuck out. So that's why I always say,
is it the carotid right here on your neck?
Carotid,
the most common
here,
one people
femoral's
know about.
Here. So if you get shot in the leg and it hits towards your groin, then it's going to go through the femoral artery. Man. Well, that's everything.
If somebody
in your leg.
wants to shoot you in the dick, you might deserve it.
Yeah.
What was it? 1,000 Ways to Die in the West or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Was
that
it,
movie with Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, one of his movies. Liam
Not
Neeson.
Todd McFarlane.
Yeah. Liam Neeson got shot in the junk or something like that. She's like, oh my God, you shot him in the dick.
But I think, okay, so tourniquet, 4x4s, ABD pads, cling, normal gauze.
What
whatever.
about like antiseptic stuff?
You can, but here's the thing is, depending on what the wound is, you really don't have the time to clean it out.
So you're thinking of like, what do I need right now?
Yeah. If you want
You're more interested in just stopping the bleeding than cleaning it out.
Yeah.
You're not going to go home after this. You're going to go to the doctor.
If you really want to go full hog, they actually have gauze that has a clotting compound to it.
Really?
So if
that's rad. I didn't know that existed.
They actually have granule stuff too that you pour into a wound that causes clotting. The problem with those things
beats a cigarette lighter, I guess.
the gauze is better than anything that you would pour into a wound,
and probably hurts a lot less.
But the other thing too is that doctors hate it because then they have to literally go in and scrape all of that out before.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about those things you bust windows with and cut yourself out of your seatbelt with?
Seatbelt cutter and
they're usually
punch.
In one.
Yeah, but honestly, other than a seatbelt cutter, I'd rather have a set of trauma shears, and they're cheap. They're like $2. You get a set of trauma shears. Mm-hmm. You can cut a freaking penny in half with them. I mean,
damn.
That's a
Is
good.
That what those are?
Yeah. That's a good bar trick, kids. If you go to a bar and bet somebody you can cut a penny in half for a drink, and they will.
Hell yeah!
owe you a drink.
I mean, you'll probably have to get them sharpened after that a few times.
Yeah, but for $2, you can use them like 10 times and do that and whatever.
You got your money's worth.
Something that
make
to
a $5
add on what
bet.
you were saying is something that I was trained in going through corrections was CPR and stuff like that. And just basic, very, very, very basic first aid.
Mm-hmm. And knowing that shit's not a bad idea either, because you're not always going to be the only one in the car.
Exactly.
Yeah. You might have to be thinking about, whoever's with you.
I'm going to put this out here to our friends at Medic Element.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have links on their website where you can go research for ACLS, CPR, and all that stuff. So if you don't want to, if you are having a hard time finding somebody who's doing a class, go to
Is it
Medic
like an online
Element.
class? Is that how they do it?
Yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
do it online now.
Can you take your first certification, or is it only for recertification?
I haven't checked into it that much, but
You probably have to go like somewhere to get your first one, right?
Yeah,
I would imagine.
But I mean, you can get a hold of Red Cross or
a lot of people do it for free.
And stuff. Yeah,
like they teach it and stuff.
Because
and CPR is something that I think everyone should know.
Yeah,
they actually they have something at my job where you can become a first responder. Basically, if something happens,
no matter where you are, you can help.
Well, not just that; it's mostly for work. Just because I work in a foundry, I mean, a lot of bad shit can happen.
I'm sure you've seen some burns, stuff like that.
Been burned.
You've been on fire.
Unofficially.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, unofficially. We're 2 days away from a year safe. Unofficially,
you're like 2 days after that, 3 days after, you're like, I got burned.
No off work injury.
No, but No, they would have us learn these things, so just in case something happened at
Well,
work.
sure.
Well, our instructor was telling us that what she keeps in her own personal one, which first aid kit, which actually made a lot of sense to me, was she actually keeps packets of honey. Because if somebody is having problems with diabetes, packets of honey,
You can.
That's a probably really
it's
fast way
actually
to get it to them too.
Very, very cheap to get oral glucose too. You can go on Amazon and get oral
go
glucose.
to Burger King and get packets of honey for free.
True.
But
Golden Corral.
2 bottles of water she keeps in hers just in case she runs into somebody who's dehydrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, then you have to go through the whole thought process of how much to give them. You know, because
Yeah.
I mean, if you give somebody who's severely dehydrated a full bottle of water and they chug it right there, they're gonna throw it up.
You know what's,
Yeah, oh,
you know
yeah.
what's actually
Oh, yeah.
better than
They're just gonna have
bottles of
another
water,
problem.
though? If you do 50-50 mix between like a Gatorade or a Powerade and water.
I think she kept water in there because it would last longer without going like
Right,
expiring and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
And then the last thing she carried, she said she wishes that she could get one of those heat blankets that a lot of firefighters and EMTs have, like the silver blankets to keep you warm.
Yeah.
She's like, a lot of the times civilians can't really afford to buy something like that. I don't know how much they cost.
They're
But
not much.
what-
You can get them at like Walmart in the outdoor section.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
now,
can.
now, but it
But-
probably didn't used to be that way.
What she would actually carry was jumbo trash bags.
Oh yeah, that works.
Just like 2 or 3 jumbo trash bags. She'd have them folded up in there, and people give her crap about it. She's like, you have no idea how many times she would just slit one in half and wrap it around the person. Even if she had to do 2 or 3 layers.
Hell yeah.
They would work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would remember
yeah.
wrestling, having to wear one of those to run off weight. I'm like, they do work.
Yeah.
They make you sweat.
Hey, this is the other thing I
yeah,
was
they
thinking.
sell those for a lot of money.
Yeah.
We were talking some, you know, me and Clyde are big gun guys and stuff like that, and
Careful, you're treading on
kind of
politics
talked
right
about what would you have in a go bag, because
Like an escape bag.
yeah. So like a first aid kit, in my opinion, is something that I would have in, you know, like a zippered pouch or something, and you can get them cheap off Amazon.
Depends on
I
what
have
kind of go we're talking. If we're talking
Well, that's-
like the commies are here, the world is over, then I'm not going to worry about what's legal for me to carry around. I'm going to bring all
Exactly.
kinds of stuff,
Well,
and
I
I'm
mean-
going to bring camping supplies.
Yeah. But my thing is, you know, with me, I've got, you know, of course, my body armor is going to be in there too. My medic bag that I, you know, have here at home that has all my first aid supplies and stuff like that.
Right.
But honestly, I think if I was going to do a go bag for, you know, apocalypse, end of the world shit,
Yeah.
I would honestly carry as much ammo as I possibly could. Because
22 caliber.
because either A, you're going to
Living off
have
a squirrel
enough
for a while,
to get
but-
somewhere that you can either hunt using it or
Right.
survive using it, depending on the situation, or you're going to have to get somewhere to get more supplies.
Hell yeah.
And honestly, unfortunately, go bags have such an exaggerated reputation. But
Right.
as soon as you tell somebody, like, that's one of my favorite things to do, is one of my hobbies is prepping. And
Right.
people always tease me like, oh,
Well, there are those guys that extreme prep.
Oh,
and they make a bad name
there
for it.
are.
That's the problem.
And they're like,
It's
oh,
like
what do you
anything,
think,
really.
the
There's
zombies are
always a
coming?
group that douches that.
Oh yeah,
Well, let's be
You know.
honest. I've seen some of these guys that I'm like, nope, I'll just die.
exactly. And honestly, like when you
Some of
really
it's
put
kinda
your
cool.
when you really put your thought process, like put your mind to it and actually think about it, use a solid thought process. They're like, who do I want around me? Who do I not want around me? Some of those extreme preppers you don't want around
No.
you in an end of the world situation.
Those are the kind of guys that are going
Because
to eat you first.
those are the guys that are going to get you hurt.
Yeah.
Now, there are some of like the old timers who just lived outside. Like I had a relative.
Hell yeah, I'm picking my dad up right away if something like that happens. He can handle himself.
Well, I've had relatives and that they could do the coolest things. There was one of them at 7 years old. He walked out of the house with his 22 caliber rifle. He came back 3 fucking days later. Now his parents were freaking out, calling the cops, stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Now he's like in his 70s now. But he's
Right.
like, yeah, he's like, I just went to the woods and camped out and hunted squirrels and ate and all that kind of shit.
yeah.
He's like, I didn't think anything was wrong until I came back 3 days later and my mom whooped my ass.
Well, and that's the thing too, is if you're, depending on what situation you're thinking, definitely some sort of a fire starter, like a flint or something
yeah.
like that.
My
You know?
grandpa actually,
Magnesium rod and
in his
striker.
truck at all times, in the back of his truck, he had one of them camper cabs.
Yeah.
Always in the back of his truck, he had like a tackle box sort of situation, just with your basic survival supplies. So, like, if you ever had a breakdown and it was late, and this is before cell phones,
Yeah.
like, he didn't have AAA, you know? So, of course, he's like, I'm ready. You always have a couple of pieces of fire starter, maybe even some wood in the back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he was ready to live
Well,
wherever he
that's
wrecked.
the thing you got to think about. All right, I don't know where. We know there are some people that listen to this podcast that are in the Illinois area and
Sure.
in the Midwest.
Yeah.
But this is the thing you got to think about. As far as I'm concerned, we're getting into winter months. Always carry some jumper cables, a decent blanket just in case, and make sure that you carry at least some form of water or something to drink.
Yep.
Because if you break down or you get stuck,
you might not have service.
You might not have service. you might be stuck because nobody is able to plow or
which means they ain't coming to get you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my thing is I always carry some form of a first aid kit with me.
Mm-hmm.
I actually carry sea collars with me in case I come on an accident. It's probably not something I'm supposed to have, but in my opinion, if somebody gets into an accident where they could have a spine injury, I'd rather be able to do something about that than just let it lie.
Yeah.
And what I was saying was, he gave some really good examples of what I'm talking about. Like with a go bag is not just something you have to worry about the zombie apocalypse or the Russians. It's, let's say you were planning a trip to San Diego.
Yeah.
Well, it was winter months. My wife actually just did this. Her little brother, my brother-in-law, he's like a little brother to me too. He graduated from the Marines in February. She drove from here to San Diego.
Yeah, it's a hell of a trip.
In February.
Yeah.
And they had to go over the mountains, and it's snowing. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I wish I would have had time to pack them a decent go bag before they left, because you never know. What if
you don't.
What if they would have gotten a flat in the mountains?
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, having a decent go bag is something you should really consider. Like,
yeah.
Another thing, you were talking about fire start. This is a cheap alternative. Now, this is a cheap alternative. Get something like a flint and strike or manganese rod or magnesium rod.
Yeah.
Something like that. But a really cheap alternative that I've actually used was petroleum jelly and cotton balls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, the petroleum in the petroleum jelly is very flammable, and cotton burns very slow. So you just dip that cotton ball in there, slap it on the ground, and light it on fire.
Hell yeah.
You're going to get a hot burning fire so you can build something on it real quick.
You know, one of those dumb things that actually works. Chips are really good fire starters, too.
Doritos.
Yeah, they work, man. Like, it sounds dumb, but they really do.
And if you get stuck in the winter
pretty
time,
well.
You can use that petroleum jelly to, take up some
smooth
time.
Things along.
Yeah. Lubricant.
And in my head, there are a lot of raccoons around.
There are.
My
Bring that fuzzy ass over here.
my favorite saying is, I don't have ducks, I don't have a row, I have squirrels, and they're at a fucking rave. Well, what do you think, guys? Wrap this bad boy up.
Hell yeah.
Clyde.
Darwin's tired, guys. He's too tired. He can't do anymore.
He's straight out of compliance.
He's fucking exhausted.
We thank you guys for listening to this one. Clyde, I'm going to definitely make sure that you get some coffee because
you need it, man. You look tired.
Clyde,
I've been up since 4 a.m., man.
Clyde wanted to try the Black Rifle coffee last time he was here, and I totally forgot to give him some. So he's gonna get some. If you guys want to try out some Black Rifle coffee, go on to blackriflecoffee.com.
It's pretty good. It's pretty goddamn
fucking
good.
Awesome. It is what keeps me up so I can keep working on the car.
And when he's done with that, he'll have nothing.
Yeah,
that's right.
If you want,
you really did need a project too. I'm so glad you got that car. Jesus.
If you want 15% off of Black Rifle Coffee, go on. Use the discount code 107 off duty. Also, Medic Element. I talked about these guys. They've got the research stuff. Go check them out. They have some awesome patches and stickers and shirts and stuff. Use the discount code Medic18 and buy one get one free on stickers. And John got his tactical kitten sticker.
Yay, the one I wanted. Did you tell him that, or did he hear that?
No, I bought some from him, so I ordered that one. I was like, yeah, I can use the discount code and get some stuff. So go check them out, support them. They donate a lot of money. Level Zero donates a lot of money too.
So does the Black Coffee, right? The coffee guys, they donate a lot.
Well, they're owned and run by military vets. So
yeah,
they're pretty cool guys.
They're doing their part.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like and subscribe and comment if you can.
Can you imagine working in a coffee factory?
Oh, it smells so good.
You just be like constantly on sensory overload. I bet they get shit done quick. They never miss their quota.
I love chocolate covered espresso beans, by the way. Like, those are delicious.
Yeah, you'd be like working in the whatever that job is where it goes by you on a line and you're like
So like, subscribe, comment if you can wherever you get this podcast. If you want t-shirts or anything, if you want to just contact us, ask us questions that we can answer, get us on.
It's at least 20 minutes of free good talk, so always do that. We love that.
107 offduty@gmail.com, or check us out on Facebook and Twitter at 10-7 offduty.
Twinter?
Twitter? Twatter.
On Twinter.
On the twat.
On Twinterest.
Twat. Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Enjoy.